Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Wrestle Rewind. Tonight is August 1st, 2019. This is episode 14 for us, and we're going to go ahead and kick off tonight's show by taking a brief moment to honor the life of the WWE Hall of Famer who passed away today, Harley Race. All right. Of course, a somber moment to start tonight off with, but necessary given the contributions that Harley not only gave to the WWE, but the wrestling world overall across decades of performances across the country and throughout the world. Last week, they had kind of touched on the fact that he wasn't doing well. Typically, whenever in these situations when the family starts keeping information close to the chest, that's usually a sign that things are not progressing well, and they usually come out of nowhere. And in this case, this is exactly where it went. So from the team here at Wrestle Rewind, myself, Double K, A-Man, Smokey Z, Nico, our thoughts and prayers are with the family of Harley Race, his family, friends, loved ones, and all of the fans that have supported him throughout the generations. This will be felt across the wrestling world for days to come. I'm sure WWE will be doing their own tributes this coming weekend and into the live shows next week. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on and move on to our run sheet for tonight. We've got a lot of stuff that we're going to try to condense here. Some of this is just going to roll right into each other, and as usual, we've got a run sheet, but there's no guarantee that we're ever going to get to everything that's on the card, and even if we do, it's usually not in extended lengths of time. We spend a lot of time on certain subjects and then not so much on other subjects, but in an effort to try to be more encompassing overall, we are going to spend a few minutes tonight talking about Impact Wrestling and, for the first time, Ring of Honor. So that'll be...
our package got more extensive.
Welcome to all the folks that have joined us. Your cast, as I just stated, for this episode, as usual, is myself, Tommy T, joined by Double K, A-Man, Smokey Z, and Nico behind the scenes. And we're going to start off tonight's conversation, and we're going to talk about SummerSlam, because we are just a mere week and a half away from WWE's biggest pay-per-view of the summer, one of the, in my opinion, the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. For me, it's WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and then Survivor Series. So this is their blockbuster, and a pretty interesting card that we've gotten so far. We've got Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship, Becky Lynch versus Natalya for the Raw Women's Championship, Bayley and Ember Moon. I think that's your sleeper match of perhaps stealing the show at SummerSlam. Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton, Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt, AJ Styles versus Ricochet, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler, and Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair. So we're going to start at the very we're going to start at the very top of the card, and we're going to start with A-Man, ladies first. What's your star match of the night for SummerSlam, and what's your least favorite match?
And which match are you most worried about?
Ooh.
We'll go through.
Okay.
That's fine.
Let's go through.
Let's see. I don't know. I can't really say that I'm not looking forward to any of the matches. I think they'll all be pretty good for what they are. I guess I'm ready to see Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon be over with, and Shane to kind of just take like a back seat and just move on for a while and let Kevin do his own thing. So I guess maybe that one. Most looking forward to is probably Becky Lynch and Natalya. I think that's going to be such a fun dynamic with the Canadian fans there. And what Becky has been doing, I don't know if you guys have seen her on social media, but I think it was like some type of paint or maybe a sticker or something, but it was the Canadian flag, and then Becky put like a little clover leaf right over the leaf. Yeah. So just little things like that. So I hope like they play heel Becky up in Canada. I think it'd be so fun to see, because it'll obviously just be for the night.
Yeah.
But, so I hope they go in that route.
Can you see that being one of those Hogan Rock matches where the fans don't know what to do? Do you remember that? Remember the first time they got together and they had that face-off? Yeah. They were looking opposite directions, and the fans had no idea what to do or who to cheer for?
Yeah, probably.
I think there's a chance of that.
I don't think it'll be to that magnitude, but I see it kind of going that way.
I think the bigger thing here is I don't think there's a doubt in my mind that Natalya's going to get the crowd support. Becky's not.
Right.
I mean, they're going to be in Toronto. That's in her backyard. It's in her family's backyard. So she's going to get the support there. I'm going to be honest. I don't really care for the match. I think they've done an awful job building the storyline. And I don't think the match really adds any value to the card. I think that it's a matter of you put her in that match because of where you were having the event, not necessarily because she was the right person. You've got talented folks that are on that roster that you're passing up to put her in it because she's the hometown girl.
Well, you've already got another hometown girl match with Trish and Charlotte.
And that's what my other point was going to be. I'm curious to see who the Canadian fans support the most, and if one match kind of steals the thunder from the other match. Because let's say Natty wins and she wins the championship, but if Trish has already come out and won, or if Trish goes on later, are they going to be more excited to see Trish and hopefully to see her win? Or
I'm more excited for Becky and Natalya than I am Trish and Charlotte. Just because where does Trish and Charlotte go after that? Nowhere.
Oh, I mean, it's a gimmick match. That's what it is.
But at least, Becky and Natalya can go somewhere.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a really good match. I think
it'll be a good, solid
match.
Probably close to flawless.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just not excited to see Trish and Charlotte.
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm not excited, but I'm not, overwhelmed with joy that we're going to see it. Trish has had her day. And like you were saying the other day when you were texting, and I didn't see SmackDown at that exact moment. Trish just doesn't look like she's ready to wrestle anymore. I don't know what's going on with her mouth or her face, but it looks like somebody stepped on the back of her head and pulled her face back as tight as they could. And she has trouble talking.
There's an image there in my head now. I can't get rid of it. Get her by the mouth.
Oh my god.
But did she think about it? Think about Tuesday night. She had trouble forming words.
She said she was doing mother things now.
Well, she needs to just go do them.
She said she's a mom now and she was doing mother things.
That's fair.
So
go do that.
But let's be real. Let's be honest about this. We get excited every time they bring a nostalgic act back. She's no different. Everybody spazzed out when they brought her back for Evolution back in the fall. They brought her back for that.
That show made sense to have her there for and have her be a big part of.
Well, I mean, clearly I think WWE is trying to find and build interest in their shows, and they're still struggling to do that. I think that's part of the problem. We're going to talk a little bit later on about some of the shows that they've had issues with recently. But I honestly think that match has the potential to be a sleeper match.
Really?
Yeah, because, I mean, if you think back to Evolution, Trish could still go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even a year ago.
And she has the best opponent that she could have.
Oh, that's... it wasn't even a year ago. I mean, it won't even be a year until we get into November.
Yeah.
And so she has the ability to still come out there and put on a hell of a show. And I think that's going to be the difference because, as you just said, there is not a better person that they could have put her in the ring with. Now, I'm going to say that same thing about another match that we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
I know where he's going.
And the thing that I think, for me, the match here that I'm most looking forward to is actually the Bayley Ember Moon match out of the entire card. And here's the reason why. I think this is Ember Moon's time to shine. So I think she takes the belt off of Bayley at SummerSlam for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's time. Two, I think that if they're going to continue the push that they're on, so think about this for just a second. Let's just say that everybody that's on SmackDown retains their titles. Ember Moon takes the SmackDown Women's title. Every belt on that brand will be held by an African American.
That's true.
That's a historic moment within WWE.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because that's never happened before.
Every title on SmackDown?
Every title on a brand being held
on
at
any
the
brand,
same
it just
time,
happens to be SmackDown.
At the same time, having a title.
Except for Shinsuke.
Well, he's still a minority.
No, yeah.
It's true.
I mean, he's still a minority.
Yeah. That's
So,
pretty cool. I never thought of it.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for them to write a chapter that they haven't written. I can't even believe I'm going to say it. This is an opportunity for them to do something different that they haven't done before.
And
but are they actually going to do it is the question.
Well, that's a great question.
But did anyone see what Bayley did after the match on SmackDown? The Bayley to belly to Ember? And that smirk? Oh, I was all
well, I think we're all itching for
and I think it happens at SummerSlam.
A Bayley
I don't
turn.
know if you can call it heel Bayley because it was just retaliation.
Yeah,
no, but I'm saying
because after she did it, she
So
looked
are we
at her
gonna-
and she
so
said
are we
nothing
gonna get-
personal.
But are we going to get a heel Ember Moon then? I mean, we could take that in either direction.
I mean, Bayley's
No,
after she did it, she looked
wanna
at
see
Ember
Bayley.
and told her nothing personal.
Yeah, I mean, there's clearly a
But that
situation.
smirk, man, I feel like there's something to it.
What? We have to have an opportunity to see Bayley turn heel.
Yeah, and I think she will. Eventually.
But here's my question. Do we see Sasha Banks return at SummerSlam and cost Bayley the title?
What I would see is Sasha coming out, trying to help Bayley, it backfiring, Bayley losing, Sasha tries to apologize, Bayley attacks Sasha.
Okay.
Heel Bayley, everyone's going to love seeing Sasha back.
Yep.
It's, win-win. What are you doing?
Continue amongst yourselves.
Oh, I am.
You look like you're struggling.
I'm trying to just keep this cord off of me so we can keep our extensive packages alive and keep everything running.
This is true. So,
What are you doing?
I'm just...
the match
over here.
the match that I actually am least looking forward to is going to have to be the Kofi Kingston Randy Orton match. I have zero interest in that match.
Did you not see the video package?
I
did?
I did, but I just don't have any interest in it. I mean, it's... And I think part of it is because it's going to be the unpopular opinion. I'm kind of over the Kofi Kingston thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, all right, well, let's move on. And if you're going to put it on Randy, put it on Randy. I mean, but whatever you're going to do, put it on somebody.
I think Kofi's done a hell of a job with it.
I think
Yeah.
he does too.
I'm not...
I don't think he's going to lose it to Randy.
Don't take anything from Kofi. Kofi's an outstanding performer, and he's done a hell of a job. But
That would make Randy, what, 14?
14, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really any historical significance.
No.
And he's still
do
one
it.
away from... Or no, it was
He's
Triple
two
H?
away. Triple H.
Triple H is
15.
15, that's what's...
Did he
yeah.
get 15?
Yeah, he's got 15. Okay. So, in fact, his last brief run when he won it at the end of the Royal Rumble a few years back,
Yeah.
that was his 15th
Right.
Yeah.
title run. So I have, I mean, out of the list of them, that's just the one that I'm least looking forward to. Smokey, what you got?
I think my least favorite one is going to be the Lesnar versus Rollins match.
Okay.
It's because I feel like they're going to do the same thing they did with Seth that they did with Roman. Continue to have the same match over and over and over.
But do you think... So you think Seth loses here or Seth wins?
Oh, I think
he
Seth
loses.
loses.
Yeah, I think he loses.
I think Seth loses, and I think probably following this, you start to see Lashley or Strowman come back into the picture.
I know, but I'm just worried for Seth if he loses, because what does he do then? I mean, he'll be fine as a character, and he can always move back up, but...
I'm going to be honest, I think Seth needs some time off.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if they give him time off, then 100%, but I don't want him to just see him in random, throwaway matches,
No,
because
I
he's
think-
much more
Yeah.
talented than that. You know?
I think Smokey may be onto something, though, because it's not going to be Roman anymore.
It's going to be Seth.
Yeah, because they've still yet to take down anything that says Beast Slayer.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's the same intro that he had at WrestleMania every single week that he comes out, whether Lesnar's there or not. Yeah, I get it. Milk that for a little while. I
Or
understand,
this could
but
be the opportunity to take the title off of Lesnar so he can go to SmackDown for Fox.
Well, they don't see it happening.
I don't think that. I don't see Lesnar dropping the belt yet. I think he's going to continue to hang around as much as he can. One, because I think he's actually at a point now where he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can kind of see it when he
He
comes out
shows up
there.
a lot more now.
yeah. I mean,
And
if he shows up 6 times a year,
And I think that,
he's shown up more than he did the last 3.
Yeah, there's another point that we're going to talk about a little bit later on when we talk about the wild card rule and the brands in general. But I don't see, because here's the question. So the bigger question for me is not what does Seth do after he loses. It's what's Brock do if he doesn't have the title.
He just goes away for a while.
But that does nothing for them.
And you know what? Maybe if we really get really deep into this thing and overthink it a little bit, if he drops it to Seth, does he go to SmackDown at some point?
Well, that's what she had said.
And take it from Kofi.
So, I mean, I guess it's possible.
That could be your headline, your main event match on the first
On the first SmackDown, right.
October.
I mean, we'll see. I do just want to notate briefly that while our viewers are going to experience some visual difficulties, it's because one person at this table doesn't understand what happens when you wear green with a green screen that's
You
being
can't even
used.
see me half the time anyway.
If you just turn sideways, then they won't see you at all.
No, he can't
and
do that.
So the green won't work.
If he sticks out his tongue, he'll look like a zipper. So,
where we could go with that.
some things you
possibilities.
can't put behind a zipper, like beads. But so, Double K, we've had several conversations. You really haven't said what's the one you're looking forward to the most. What's your least favorite?
Actually, I think Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon is going to be a really great match.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
Shane
think that's
always
gonna be a
puts,
great match.
Shane always puts on a good show.
I don't care for seeing Shane over and over and over and over, in key spots and any shows. I think it's time for him to go back in the back and be commissioner or whatever he wants to be again. But I think that might be, for me, that or AJ Ricochet will be the match of the night.
AJ Ricochet is going to be a hell of a show.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be unbelievable. But like I said, if we're talking about show stealers from just purely the match, I think it could be Shane and Kevin.
Yeah.
I'd say, I've got it. The one I'm looking forward to the least, again, I don't know. I'm going to say Trish and Charlotte. I'm just not digging it.
Well, I mean, it's a nostalgia match. It's not something that they're doing. There's no storyline. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but
we'll see.
But I said it last week. Remember, we said we were going to say which one we were worried about the most.
Yeah, that's the one you're worried about.
Nope, Finn and Bray.
I was about to say the same thing.
Finn and Bray. That's the match I'm worried about the most, and I think that is the match that WWE stands to lose the most on if they jack it up.
Very well said.
Thank you.
Very well said. That I'm so nervous about this match.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want it to happen.
Because
I want something to prevent it from
they've
happening.
done so well with everything they've done with Bray up to this point. I'm worried that whatever match this is, whatever we end up seeing, whatever we end up getting, isn't going to be able to come close to living up to the hype that they've built around the character.
He doesn't have to have a match right now. Like, that's the thing.
That we could go Crow Sting
Right.
with him for a year.
Right.
Think about that. How
draw
great
it
was
out.
that? How many times did you tune in during the Monday Night Wars 100% and only to WCW so you could watch Sting stand in the rafters?
Yeah.
That's true.
That's all you tuned in for. The matches were decent back then. The storylines were good. The NWO was new. And they didn't have 75 members at the time. It was still just 3.
Right. 2 limos full.
But you tuned in just to see Sting stand in the damn rafters and do nothing but stand there and stare and point a bat. And when he would point the bat, you would lose your mind. So why would we this soon throw Bray in a match.
Right, because they finally have something special, and I'm so worried they're just gonna drop the ball with it. And then what? And then what do you do with Bray?
Yeah, now, when he has the match, it was just like Sting. Think about it. After he come down and had the match against Hogan, beats Hogan.
It's kind of like Undertaker. You're not there to see him actually wrestle.
Yeah. Well,
you're there for the entrance.
Yeah,
you're there to see him.
Exactly, because after Sting had that first match, after that he had another match, then he had another match, and then he had another match, and then he ended up painting his face red and was part of the Wolfpack 75. And I mean, it just got lost in the shuffle, and it was just
Wolfpack 75. Got it.
But seriously, I mean,
Jesus.
After this match, what does the Fiend do?
Right.
So I have an image in my head of what this match looks like.
This is a PG show.
And what it involves is Finn Balor coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
that has to happen for
the Fiend.
It's a good start.
Right.
The Fiend's music hits the shutting down of the lights, and we get the same thing we saw on Monday Night Raw. That's what I think you get.
In no match.
How funny!
No match.
I would rather. I'm good with that. I would rather Bray Wyatt as Mr. Rogers show up for this match in a sweater vest and a butterfly collar.
In fairness, WWE is not advertising Finn Balor versus The Fiend. They're advertising Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. Mm-hmm. That's what they're advertising.
Because it's not the demon.
So if he shows up just as Bray Wyatt, I'm good with it. I'm not worried about a thing at that point.
I just hope we see it at some point.
I can't handle him coming out
no,
in that tight-ass sweater.
The Mr. Rogers.
We can work. There's his muscle man dance.
I can't. I can't. I'd rather see Tom Hanks continue to play as Mr. Rogers than...
Weren't you supposed to do the Muscle Man dance on the show tonight?
No.
Wasn't that on the... I mean, it's on the script.
It's here. It's written down.
It's on the script.
Mm-hmm.
See, invisible letters.
No, you just got to be able to read. That's all.
So we're going to move on to the next topic and talk about the next thing in line because it's tied directly to SummerSlam. We've kind of talked about the Trish Stratus Charlotte match, but this next match is I'm very curious to see when WWE pulls the swerve on this. So the cat's already out of the bag. As far as the match that's being advertised is The Miz versus Finn Balor, but what we're hearing is that Goldberg is going to be making his in-ring return at SummerSlam to take on Dolph Ziggler.
Did you say The Miz versus Finn Balor?
Yeah, I moved on after that because I screwed it up. So
I
just kept, A-Man's over there looking at me like I have a third eye, and so I just left it.
I was like, Finn Balor, that doesn't sound. So okay, he messed up. I'll just ignore it.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
So I want one word. We're going to go back to one-word responses.
Oh, I'm not good at this.
When you think about this match. So the graphic is up on the screen behind us. You guys can see it on the monitor. So
why does his face look like that, though? Why did they choose that picture of him?
Well, there's two guys. Which one are you talking about?
Goldberg. I thought it was obvious because he's like...
So...
I mean, Dolph Ziggler's in there with the...
Double K, we're going to start with you. One-word reaction for this match. Go.
Pass, come back. Because I've got several.
Amen.
I just need to pick one.
Yeah, go to Smokey.
Is this a one-guy show tonight? Is that what's going on, Smokey? What do you got?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Double K.
I'm going to say optimistic.
Okay. Amen.
Don't steal my word. You can't use it. Get your own.
Why? So why optimistic, terrible? Okay.
Well, what's yours?
Redeeming.
That's good.
Oh, well, yeah.
So here's why. Nobody in the wrestling world is going to deny that Goldberg's last showing in a WWE ring with The Undertaker at Super Showdown was a shit show.
Yeah, fair.
It was. From after the first 2.5 minutes, it was a shit show.
Well, the lights went off about that point. Well, and they didn't come back on.
And not to either competitor's direct fault, either. One, it was 112 degrees in the ring, and neither one of these guys are spring chickens.
No.
So I mean, they've even got 10 years on Double K. So
around your age?
They've only got about 4 on him.
I'm going to go here with this one. So
Why are you hiding?
I'm not hiding it. I don't know what you're talking about. So, anyways, one of the things that I see here, and this is probably what you were referencing earlier when I was talking about the Trish Stratus, Charlotte Flair, her being put in the ring with the best person they could put her in there for.
For sure.
This is the exact same scenario, and here's why. Here's why. Dolph Ziggler is one of their best in-ring performers. His ability to move and to sell and to just carry a match is there. This, for me, as soon as I saw this, what I see is I remember the Goldberg days of WCW, where, I mean, I can already see it playing out, is Ziggler goes for the sweet chin music, Goldberg hooks the leg, hand on the chest, and that press slam that he used to do when he was in his prime. Well, he couldn't do that with Taker. He can't do that with Brock. He can do that with Ziggler. Mm-hmm. The moves that he used to do in his prime, he couldn't do those with those other two guys. He can do that with Ziggler. This gives him an opportunity to showcase what he's still capable of doing.
Squash match or no?
Well, I was just sitting here thinking, and
Absolutely.
it's an easy out because Ziggler already lost to Owens in 10 seconds? Was it 17 seconds or something?
Well,
crazy?
I think they've got to rebuild Goldberg's dominant image.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is perfect. Like, it's believable.
Word on the street is that Goldberg has signed a 4-match deal with WWE. Taker was the first one. This will be the second one. He still has 2 left. I'll be honest that I think that even if he didn't have 2 others left, even if that's not the case and he chooses to hang it up after this one, Goldberg is one of those guys that if he comes out there and just squashes Dolph Ziggler, I'm good with it.
Absolutely.
Because, one, it's not going to hurt Ziggler. Ziggler's a hell of an in-ring performer as it is. I think he's been underbooked for years, but he's also one of those guys that every time they gave him a prominent role, he ended up getting hurt.
Right.
And so we know how it appears that Vince tries to steer away from those guys when they have a history. I mean, look at Finn Balor. Mm-hmm. He got hurt the first several times they tried to do something with him, and so now they're hesitant.
He got shit on immediately after the first one.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't get a second chance.
No.
Well, but you got to remember, he came back, and the first match that he came back after that injury, he got hurt again.
Well, that's true.
So, also, you have to think about this from the side of the business standpoint. So, when you look at, on the business side of it, it's an investment. And each one of those particular situations is Vince has to make a decision as to whether or not it's worth risking the investment. So if you're paying these guys a ton of money, which right now he's paying them a ton of money to keep them, you don't want to pay them a ton of money to have them sit on the shelf for 6 more months because they get hurt again. You'd rather have them there when you need them. So I think it's redeeming. I think we probably do get a squash match out of this. It maybe not completely a squash match, but I see him coming out and throwing Ziggler around for a little while. I think that it's entirely possible that we get a situation where we get a 5-10 minute match out of this where it's literally Ziggler beats up on Goldberg for 3 or 4 minutes, and then we see Goldberg return. Because if you think about his WCW days, that's often what happened in his matches, was he would just get beat up on for 5-6 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's kind of he shook it off and would just lay out the opponent, and then that was it. So it was the whole, you can beat me up, but you're not going to keep me down. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I think this has the potential to deliver some excitement that, one, a Goldberg match deserves if he's coming back, and 2, it's a moment for Dolph Ziggler to be in the ring. He's not going to get Shawn Michaels. Michaels actually went on the record last week of saying he has absolutely zero interest of getting back in the ring to compete. One of the reasons why was he said it took him 2.5 weeks to recover from Super Showdown.
Well, he ended
or
up
Crown Jewel. Sorry,
well,
last
he ended
year.
up having to finish that match carrying it though.
Well, he
So
carried the whole match.
That's when Hunter got hurt and tore his
Yeah.
back. So,
But he carried the whole match. I mean, go back and watch that match. It's just like watching Shawn 5 years ago. He didn't move as fast, but he still carried the match. So, because I remember us talking about that as a group when it happened, and I'm going, well, the best performer they had in that match was Shawn Michaels, and he hasn't wrestled in 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I think we're still going to get... I'm good with it, actually. If we get a Michaels-Ziggler match at WrestleMania, I will be in Tampa, so I'm 100% good with it. Even because Sean's one of those guys that I think still doesn't matter. He could be 70 and could probably still get in there and hang with the guys from today.
you just got to stay to his right.
Yeah. So the other problem that I think you have, which is this is sad, is you've got a lot of these younger guys that they couldn't even tie Shawn Michaels' boots.
It's fair.
They couldn't.
On the main roster?
Yeah, on the main roster. And so prime example, Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal's career ended with a whisper in the wind.
Oh, yeah.
So
I agree with
I
that.
thought he was going to say Whispering Eye, but I did.
well, all of us at this table are a fan of that. So when you
What'd you look at her for?
when I looked at the monitor, I didn't look at her.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
One of the things that I think we're going to get out of this is that you've got the nostalgia moments, but does somebody interfere? Another legend, because Ziggler has bashed legends in every time he's been in the ring recently.
Sean. I know what Sean says. I know what we say.
And it's just weird that
But it just would make sense. Because
But-
the only two people he talks about, calls out, are Sean and Goldberg right now.
it's interesting though that all of a sudden they started calling Dolph Ziggler's super kick "Sweet Chin Music."
Mm-hmm.
So within the past 2 weeks maybe?
Well, yeah, and they
randomly started
specifically
calling it
pointed
that.
out that he was essentially a knockoff
Right.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
They actually acknowledged
Right.
it and said that.
Right. So I think
On
these
the
are
air.
seeds being planted right now.
I do too.
Potentially. I'm still not buying into it.
For what? I don't know. But for him to interfere, though, he doesn't have to get back in the ring competitively.
Well, that's
Right.
true.
All
That's
he's got to
true.
do is have his music hit.
I mean, he's already been in the ring and
Yeah,
you know,
like Papa Shango. So
the time he interrupted and
that's
it was like the time he cost the Godfather the match.
let's not talk about that. That was in
hold
that was
on.
in our universe.
I'm on guard. There's something coming. I don't know what it is. Hey, amen,
Bad
amen.
spot.
You might want to duck.
This is a really bad spot.
So, all right. So we're gonna. I think we've beat that one up enough. But we're gonna talk about the next part of the night, which is actually the Undertaker's contract. So there's been some conversation about the Undertaker's contract and the length of it, and there was a joke made that did Undertaker just have a lifetime deal with WWE? And the response, that was exactly the response that was given
Really?
was, well, he might as well, because
Look at you.
apparently
Look
it is
you.
it is something like 10 years at $2 million a year. Is his agreement, no matter how much he wrestles or doesn't wrestle. Now, that's all speculation. Nobody really knows what that amount is besides The Undertaker and of course, WWE. But, again, somebody asked me yesterday, what if Undertaker left WWE and went to AEW? And my response to this was very simple. And I said, it would be the biggest mistake of his career, and it would be the biggest mistake in AEW's existence. And the reason why is because he can't go anywhere else and be The Undertaker.
Right.
He can't.
Well, and it completely would trash his legacy. No matter how great he's been, and he's been the guy, if he were to leave now, like right now, and go to AEW or anywhere else, it would just trash it.
I think that you have... So we talked before about the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. So Austin, for me, it's Austin, Rock, Hogan, and that fourth person's always been up in the air. I cannot, in good faith, put him as the fourth face. So my fourth face, which I'm confident in saying now, is it's Austin, Rock, Hogan, and Shawn Michaels. Those are the four faces that I would put on the Mount Rushmore. However, I would say that the block of which they are carved from is him. Because he is the foundation that company has existed upon for almost 30 years now.
I feel like you put some thought into that one.
I did. He is the foundation that everything that they stand for has been built on. How many special moments that we've gotten in the past 35 years of WrestleMania don't happen without him? How many people's careers? Rikishi.
Yeah.
He got legitimized when what happened?
When he threw him off the Hell in a
When he
Cell.
threw him off the Hell in a Cell. Mankind got legitimized
That was awesome.
when he got thrown off the Hell in a Cell. There was a true statement, never a more true statement than when he said, "Do you know what happens when people get in that cell with me? I make them famous." There was never a more true statement than that, because that's exactly what his career did. He was never the top guy in the business, but he was damn sure good at making sure you knew who the top guy was. His career was sacrificed at the feet of putting people over. There's no one that can ever claim that he buried other talent. How many big matches has he lost? On a big stage. I mean, the guy has carried the business. He's the foundation from which it was built upon. So if somebody gets a lifetime deal to come and go as they please, it's him.
I don't think you would hear any current or former superstar say anything any different.
Well, I mean, I'm
if,
sure.
You know, if you listen to any interview, anytime, anywhere, with anybody who was asked about The Undertaker, any of those guys who were asked, it's nothing but gratitude and greatness is all that comes out of their mouth. Yeah, I think, though, we were talking about legacies and all that, I think if he were ever going to leave, it would have been during the Monday Night Wars. And he's the one that stayed, and like you said, was The Rock.
Yeah. So there's so many guys that would say that what he did was he was the conscience of the company. He was the conscience of the locker room. And so we talk about like it's a sad day. As much as all of us in this room have said that it's time for him to hang it up, just pause for a second and think about what that's going to feel like when somebody says he's not coming out anymore.
Well, I mean, we felt
you're
it
not-
a little bit.
That you're not going to hear that gong go off.
Yeah, we felt it a little bit down in or up in New York.
Well, because we were disappointed that
We
he
were
didn't show
disappointed
up.
that we didn't get to hear it at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Somebody in this room got to hear it the next night.
I don't know who that is.
So,
How do you get all this vacation time, by the way?
tacos.
Yeah, it's been there 8 years.
Good tacos.
Well, this shows that easy.
And and cinnamon buns.
It's cinnamon buns. So,
Oh, that cinnamon bun's been off the shelf for like 3 years now.
Gross.
Did it fall behind the shelf?
I don't know what
It's a good
happened.
place for it.
got hung up on the cream cheese frosting.
Yeah,
So, let's wrap up our Undertaker
let's
conversation.
wrap that up now.
And how do you guys feel this week? It was announced by Netflix that they partnered with WWE, and The Big Show is going to get his own sitcom,
The Big Show show.
and it is self-titled as The Big Show.
Show. It's called The Big Show show.
I think it's going to be good. I think it'll be hilarious.
Probably. The Big Show is a funny dude.
I think it's great for him, and I think it's great for WWE. To be able to partner with Netflix and have that type of relationship, I think speaks a lot to what they see as value in the WWE superstars. And we've seen more and more superstars that have built their following on they're great movie stars because they transitioned their fans from the ring to being able to watch them on the big screen.
Well, he did that as Captain Insano.
Yeah.
And then in the movie The Knucklehead.
I never saw
That movie was weird.
It was weird.
it.
was still really
It looked
funny.
weird,
It
so
was
I just
weird.
never watched it.
So we're going to go back to talking about WrestleMania here now after talking about the Big Show's the Big Show. WrestleMania 35, everybody in this room was in attendance for that show. That was the one where Double K committed a crime by kicking a young man in the back of the head.
I assaulted Nico.
Yeah.
Simultaneously.
You caved in Nico's chest.
In fairness,
the rest of us. Wait a minute. Just hold on a damn minute. We're
stop
sitting
the damn
there.
match.
The music goes off. It's Hulk Hogan's music. We all got surprised by it. Myself and Double K end up with our arms intertwined like we're walking to an altar. And somehow or another, I've got my other arm around Smokey Z over here, and I look over to find Nico, who is gasping for air because he got slapped in the chest instantly. So you and I end up, embracing each other while Nico's struggling to breathe.
Hey, because I genuinely do not remember, did I slap you or was it an elbow, not an email? I did not email him. So it was an elbow?
It was
a surprise guess.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
So it was an elbow that resulted in Nico being unable to breathe, and he couldn't even stand after that occurred. We've got a slight distraction here, folks, for a moment. So
we have our own little wrestling match going tonight.
We do, and A-Man is struggling to win the match. So, anyways, that was.
What'd you call her?
So, she called her what she is.
Caitlin. Caitlin, get the dog.
Yeah, probably. But
that's gonna make a difference.
Susie Homemaker over here.
It's a solid base.
All you're gonna hear is.
So, WrestleMania 35, we were there. The at-show attendance that was announced by WWE at the event was just over 82,000 attendees there in MetLife Stadium, which the five of us were part of that number. The actual paying customers that purchased tickets for the night were $62,000, or 62,000 people. The reality of it is, I think this is a growing problem for WWE. They're not drawing the way that they used to.
Is this really even a big deal though? 63,000? That's a great. I'm not questioning you, but just in general. I know people are really into attendance.
I think it's a big deal to them. I mean,
but I would be curious to see how many they had available for people to buy, and then if they had 70,000 and only 63,000 were purchased,
89,
something like 89,000.
89,000 tickets were available.
All right, well.
So.
And they I don't know.
So I'm with you. I don't think it's that big of a deal. 63,000 people is still a lot of people.
And it's WrestleMania.
It's 63,000 people.
Right.
That's about 62,500 more people than watch our show on a regular basis. So for now,
I'm gonna need you to calm down.
We're slowly gaining more and more popularity, but it's going to be interesting to see how this looks in Tampa next year. It's a new location for WrestleMania, and out of the 63,000, or even if it was 82,000 people that attended WrestleMania, there was about 80,000 or 60,000 of them that were pissed off after the event.
Oh,
yeah. Thank you,
So,
New Jersey.
Yeah, except for the four of us.
We were good.
We were good. One was a cripple. The other ones decided that we were going to try to avoid the apocalypse that was coming. And
that's what it looked like.
I still remember that distinct moment when we heard Becky's music hit, and I could hear this rush, and I turned around and look, and I immediately just started running, and Double K just goes, run. And myself, Smokey, Double K, Nico, we just took off and got all the way to stand in a line and wait for a train.
I was really impressed, though, with as much running as we had to do down steps and around sharp turns, in and out of people.
Tommy T didn't
Tommy
fall.
T never once ate it.
Very good point.
Didn't fall once.
I usually don't cave under
Shocking.
pressure. Nope, that's with your dad. But when
What? I missed something completely.
when the biggest thing for me is I always fall when nobody expects it.
Yeah.
Like when it matters the most, it doesn't happen.
Matters the most.
I don't know if falling would matter.
Like, when does it never not matter that you fall? Like,
Well, that was a great. That's the story of my life, though.
I think
is
you've hit every step in my house.
at some point, in
Not
time,
with your
yeah.
feet.
No.
With a knee, an elbow.
I've fallen all the way down your bottom set of
you've
stairs.
fallen up steps too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty impressive.
I've fallen in mulch. I've had my feet run over.
See, that one I could almost not fault to you.
Well, because I didn't run over my own feet. It's not impossible.
If,
but I didn't run over
if
my own
anybody
feet.
could run over their own feet, it would be you.
Oh yeah, if somebody can find out a way to screw something up, as far as falling or being clumsy or klutzy, it's me.
That's fair.
It's me. So this past week on SmackDown, there was an incident that involved the big dog, Roman Reigns, where he had scaffolding pushed over on him. Who's your suspect?
I don't know. I sat there and I tried to think about it, and I tried to think about it, and I tried to think about it. I kept going back to Joe, but I feel like Joe's the obvious answer.
I don't think it's Joe.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
I agree with you. I think it's
That's
too
what I'm
obvious.
saying. I think Joe's the obvious answer, but he was the first one that I came up with that I could think about. I don't know.
I was trying to figure that out on Tuesday and Wednesday. Could not figure out who it would be.
Hey, man.
I was thinking either Bray, but I feel like that would be too obvious, or Aleister Black.
Well, no, Aleister Black is getting ready to kick Sami Zayn's ass.
What if Sami Zayn beats Aleister
Shut
Black?
your mouth.
He has
How
a
about
new
that?
T-shirt too. Have you seen it? It's pretty cool.
Get me two. One to crap in and one to cover it up with.
I don't even say things like that about CM Punk. So, I saw an article today that talked about who it might be. I don't have an opinion on it one way or another. It's something different for WWE television, so I'm for it. But,
Charlotte.
no. That was the person that looked at her pics and backed into the scaffolding. But the hey man, I'll share the pics with you.
You don't.
I have no idea. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got
Stay
you.
in the dark.
I got you covered. Nope, she's not going to get to ignore this one.
Stay in the dark.
Nico,
Go
can you do me
away
a
from the
favor?
lights.
And while you're behind the scenes, send some of those pics to our group chat so that A-Man can further broaden her package. So, when
I tried to save you from that one.
so
I did.
he was trying to do you a favor, but Buddy Murphy. So he got brought up to the main roster.
Right.
What are you going to use him for? What's a better way for him to make a statement?
So you think Buddy Murphy's the one that...
I didn't say I think that. I read an article that said that because if you go back and watch the replay, that's who's standing behind it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I'll have to go back and watch it. Where was the article?
What do you mean? Where was it?
Where'd you read the article?
It was dirt sheets.
Oh, okay. If he was standing behind it, it makes sense. I get that, but no.
Since we're speaking about stuff that happened backstage, can we talk about Raw really quick?
Yeah,
The whole
sure.
Seth Rollins thing.
Anything you want.
What
Thanks.
Seth Rollins thing?
With the whole Brock Lesnar attacking Seth
Oh, yeah.
backstage with this on the stretcher.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been complaining in I guess getting on Becky's case because she didn't pop out and help Seth, or
What was she gonna do?
But my
Brock
thing is,
Lesnar.
my thing is, I don't even think she was supposed to be in the shot to begin with, because it was really awkward. Did you get the pictures?
Yes.
Okay, great.
You're welcome.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I saw some of that where people were giving her, her flack.
I think it was a mistake. I don't think she was supposed to be in that spot at that time.
Come on.
So even if she was supposed to be in that particular spot, it doesn't matter. What's she going to do? It's Brock Lesnar.
Well, a lot of people are
Right.
saying they're upset that she didn't even at least go to comfort him afterwards when he was being put into the ambulance.
This is hacking up and coughing up blood, and
Or just being in it in general.
This isn't TNA.
fair.
We don't typically see men versus women in the WWE. We got to
Anymore.
see that moment.
Well, right, yeah,
Right, but we got that moment at Extreme Rules, which was so awesome, where Baron Corbin,
Yeah.
the Baron Corbin Becky Lynch spot, I think it's blown out of proportion by the fans.
Yeah.
I think that this is one of those things where people are trying so hard because the product, their WWE is trying. Mm-hmm. And so I think fans are still trying to find things to pick the show apart about because they don't want to give WWE credit for doing something different and being better. We've seen blood back on WWE television, not on the pay-per-view.
It was
Right, yeah.
gruesome.
It was.
Well, and I got to tell you, the Seth's ability to sell those chair shots, never seen it before.
Dude.
We've never seen an F5, and there was no situation where he could shield or he didn't
On the
get his
stretcher?
hands up. Yeah,
Did you, say,
the stretcher.
did you say shield on purpose?
Yes. Yeah.
That boy.
So,
I see what you did there.
but there was nothing that they could have done for him to sell that other than just take the bump.
Yeah, man. I bet he was
And so
feeling it too.
Oh yeah.
it was.
The worst one of the bunch though was the one on the stretcher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 'cause he bounced
His
on
whole
his
body hit it,
side
and he just bounced up in the air.
contorted,
Absolutely,
dude,
that was. Oh.
So
And there's no way to
fake a stretcher.
There's no way to
like that.
sell
Yeah.
that. There's no way to fake that.
Yeah.
His ass hit that
And that
stretcher and bounced off of
that
it.
stretcher's a lot more durable than that chair was.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, that hurts.
yeah, I don't know where there's any type of ending to this that I would have seen Becky Lynch involved in. Because think
Yeah.
about this. So let's say Becky does get involved. Brock picks her up. F5s are on the concrete. Now they're going to go after Brock.
Yeah. Then it goes a completely.
They're going to
different
complain.
direction.
Why would you let Brock do that to her? Brock's an asshole.
Yeah.
All this stuff it changes
Yeah.
the moment. And I really do think that this is where the wrestling fans are trying their best to find something that they don't like about the programming.
Right, and just relax. Just give.
How about
Angels
just
time
enjoy
to
the
breathe
show?
Right, let's
and,
calm
play
down
out,
and
you
enjoy
know?
the
Enjoy the show.
damn show.
Yeah.
Right. Isn't that right, Smokey?
But it's never going to happen.
No.
Well, no.
There's always going to be people that pick it apart. I mean, look at what we do. We talk about stuff that goes on behind the scenes. We talk about the reports, the who's going to win, and
I don't feel like we talk negatively about it though.
well,
Fair.
I think we stay constructive
Yeah.
with the conversation.
Yeah, I think so.
We at least attempt to.
Yeah.
Well, and we haven't really spoiled any winners or losers of matches. We've talked about who we want to see
Yeah.
win and lose matches, but we have not talked about what is rumored to happen. We've talked about who's rumored to go in whatever storyline, but that's really the
Right.
extent.
But it's rumors.
Right, it's nothing that's set into concrete. So we'll see where the Roman storyline goes. Going back to briefly talk about WWE's attendance, in addition to WrestleMania's attendance numbers being skewed slightly, WWE has now canceled 2 weekends worth of house shows due to low ticket sales, one of which the tickets have been on sale for 2.5 months, and they had only sold 1,000 tickets in a 6,000-seat arena. It was a SmackDown Live event that was scheduled for this upcoming Saturday. WWE has canceled both events for the weekend and refunded all tickets.
Where was it?
One was in Indiana, I think the other one was in Ohio.
Well, good for them.
So, well, and I think you're probably going to.
WWE.
I think you're
Yeah.
also going to see some things change with AEW offering a much more attractive road schedule and a more wrestler-friendly platform, I think you're going to see WWE make some changes, especially when they can't financially justify a move. So, 1,000 tickets is not probably going to pay WWE's expenses for what it costs them to set up the production, pay the wrestlers to be... It just doesn't cover the cost. So why not take it to a city where they're going to get the attraction?
And why not give your talent the weekend off?
Oh, sure. Sure. So,
Do you think they'll eventually cancel all house shows if they keep dropping?
no, I think you'll still get... Now, what you might not get is you might not get them every weekend. You might get 1 or 2 a month as opposed to every... Because you got to think about the WWE guys. If you watch any of their interviews and they talk about the grueling schedule that they're under, where you've got 2 live television programs a week, but then you've got 4 nights of just house shows that you're doing back to back.
Yeah, and for the Raw crew, Monday Night Raw is their Friday. That's when their tour ends. They go home either that night or the following morning.
That's right.
So by Monday, they're beat from how
unless within the wild card rule they show up on Tuesday.
Exactly, then that's even worse.
Yeah, so
then they literally only have Wednesday, Thursday, and then they got to head back on Friday.
So one of the things I was reading recently is that, and it's actually this carries us right over into our next topic, is Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff not fans of the wild card rule, not fans of the blended rosters. So the expectation is that following SummerSlam, we will go back to solid brand rosters with 2 separate shows.
And I think that's a
good thing.
Monday and Tuesday shows in New York are going to be for. Because Raw and SmackDown are in Madison Square Garden. And it's the first week in September?
Yeah.
The second week? So right after SummerSlam.
Yep.
Have your draft, if they go in that direction, have your draft.
Yeah,
whatever concept you're going to
I don't think that you're going to see a draft again. I think you're just going to see that line drawn in the sand again of, okay, these are SmackDown superstars, these are Raw superstars. We're not going to send them back and forth between shows. Because really what you've done, and we've talked about this before, is that you have 4 or 5 guys that are literally controlling the majority of the television time every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're pretty much null and voiding the draft.
Yeah. So this past week, the second week in a row, it's reported that Vince McMahon has rewritten the SmackDown script prior to the show going live. I'm going to tell you that if Vince McMahon rewrote the past 2 SmackDown scripts, then keep letting him write them.
Yeah.
Because the past 2 weeks have been great. And then Double K brought up a great point prior to us going on the air tonight, and he said, "Well, what if that's just what they're telling people?" Just to see if people will tune in.
What, that
he's writing it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Because they started it last week and it was better. So did WWE leak that to say, "Oh, we're just going to tell them Vince rewrote it again because they loved it last week, so let's see if they tune in this week."
That's right.
So I don't think for one
Vince
second.
Is up to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's for one second that they don't manipulate the media. I mean, they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Well, I mean, that's what they do. I mean, every single performer in the ring can make any crowd do anything they want them to do.
As long as they're good at what they do.
As long as they're good. I mean, even if they're bad, they can get the crowd. They can get the crowd to react some way somehow.
You can get a crowd to react to anything.
Well, and the guys that have been able to do that successfully and in a legendary way throughout their career, they're all Hall of Famers now.
Absolutely.
And rightfully so. So, AEW, we'll move on to that. Hey, man, I'm going to let you take the lead on the AEW conversation, and I'm just going to contribute to the conversation.
All right, well.
He's going to contribute extensively.
With my package.
Whoa! 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 Now,
can we get a longer table? I need to slide down. I need to be over here somewhere, and I'm out of room. We need a more extensive table for me to sit at.
That way.
Don't you spit that out.
That way.
So, hey, man, AEW.
Yeah.
Why's your face so red?
Mine? Oh.
Jesus.
Yeah, so AEW, I guess first things first, tickets go on sale tomorrow. Super stoked about it. I know we all are.
Yep.
Plan on getting seats.
Yes.
Should be a good show. Are you going to do that thingy?
I'm working. I'm working on it. I've got the paperwork in.
Well, I can't remember if we said it like on the show.
We did.
Or not.
We did.
We talked about it.
But we didn't call it a thingy.
Well, I know, but they wouldn't know what a thingy was if like
Most
we didn't
people know what
mention
thingies are. Most of our listeners know.
Whatever. So yeah, okay, we'll move on.
Yeah, so the story on that is the paperwork is in. We have to have a street vendor permit to be able to solicit, as I used air quotes, to solicit outside of the arena. And so because we have a product that would be on display, which is our show, then we have to have a permit to do so. So I have submitted the paperwork and we are awaiting the approval. If we do, then we will be broadcasting from, I cannot remember the names of the street corners, but we will be broadcasting.
Thingies, soliciting, and street corners. What in the hell are we going to do exactly?
I'm with you.
We would be
so lost.
Hey, you're going first. That's all I'm saying.
Broadcasting from outside the Capital One Arena, which would be not only a huge thing for us as a team, but it would be huge for our program to be able to get that opportunity to be outside of an AEW show. Their first ever live television broadcast. So that would be a big deal. No promises yet. We've still got plenty of time between now and October, but we do have to have the appropriate paperwork in order to be able to do it. So
It's exciting.
it is exciting.
Exciting times. Their All Out pay-per-view finally has Cody and Shawn Spears match officially listed, featuring, along with Tully Blanchard coming out with Shawn. Don't seem too excited about that. Double K.
Well, I said I wasn't excited about that one last week.
Yeah.
The Tully Blanchard part, I don't think it doesn't do anything.
I think they tried to find a legendary name to put with him because I feel like they're worried about him.
They're worried about Shawn.
When's the last time Tully Blanchard walked out to a ring with anybody in any sort of significant arena?
I don't think they're worried about Shawn Spears though.
But then why put anybody? Why put Tully Blanchard with
him? Maybe it's a
him?
callback to Cody's history with Dusty and that era.
I mean, it could be, but I mean, at the
just everything. You know?
I could get on board with that. I think that part of it makes more sense, but I don't think they're doing a good job of telling the story. Oh wait, they don't tell stories because they don't write them.
No, they literally just said, "Here, Tully, walk out there."
But they still have time. We're still a month away.
That's true.
Show. So, and did y'all see Cody's video he did earlier? His promo video?
I have not seen the one that he sent out.
It was so well done. It was such a great video.
They do well with those things. They do really good job with those things.
And the simplicity of it.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about anything involving really Cody or anything. I'm not excited because I feel like they stuck somebody out there, a bigger name in the wrestling galaxy than Shawn Spears, but because I feel like they don't feel that Shawn Spears can carry it enough on his own.
I don't think the issue is. I don't think they're worried about the match at all because I don't think you have to worry about Shawn Spears carrying anything because Cody Rhodes will carry the match.
I didn't mean carry the match, but I mean just like his part,
the program.
Yeah, I think they just don't have the confidence in him, so they just threw it together. I feel like they just said, "Here, go."
I feel like
Tully has a name. Take that.
Yeah, I feel
because
like
Shawn Spears isn't enough on his own.
He will be. I feel like he will be.
Well, he might be, but I'm saying right now.
He just when was that a Double or Nothing? Was that Double or Nothing or was that
Fyter Fest?
Fyter Fest.
I just feel like.
I mean, they gave him Tully Blanchard and a mohawk and said, "Let's see what happens." I hope he does well because in ring he's talented. I think he can go. He didn't get much of a real opportunity in WWE.
Right.
But again, I'm going to say it one last time, and I promise I won't repeat it. I feel like they've put Tully Blanchard with him just because they feel like he might not have it.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to find out.
We will. So also for the first show, though, they announced a 6-man tag.
Yeah.
Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. Oh, God.
I saw it.
Did you get
Yeah,
it
she
too?
sent it to me, too. Continue.
Kenny Omega and Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and 2 mystery partners.
So,
Does anyone have any ideas for the mystery partner?
I have, yeah. I have a feeling that it's probably. He has said that we're not going to believe who he's bringing in to this event. I'm going to actually side. Nico and I were having this conversation before the show.
I'm going with you. I know where you're going.
Went on air. I think his two mystery partners are going to be Private Party. So,
I was thinking LAX.
Okay.
They recently ended their contracts. They're pretty much free agents.
See,
now.
I like that.
I think, and they mesh well with Young Bucks.
I like that
Kenny
better.
and Jericho are going to be,
Right.
taking care of each other then, and they have another solid tag team, which I'm sure would be signed to AEW after that night, or that night if they aren't already. So I just think it'd be a good fit for them. Maybe.
I think this actually rolls into one of the points on the run sheet, and that is that I'm not sure Chris Jericho is the right guy to be driving this promotion, because you're promising people that we're not going to believe who you're going to bring in. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal.
Like who it ends up being?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to. I think you're going to be.
Well,
I think you're going to
LAX is a
overinflate
good
it.
fix. Or a good fit. It's a good little reaction for the crowd that's going to be there. The majority, your AEW fan is going to know who LAX is.
Sure.
So it'll be a good pop for them. It'll be exciting. They'll have a really good match, and it's done and over with that night. So,
I just.
'Cause I don't see it being two big singles wrestlers like someone said, like a CM Punk, and then like another random person. Like, why?
Gotta hope we're
would
there
that
for
even
that.
be?
Well, I mean, y'all can be there for it, but the moment he comes out, I'll leave. So, it'd be no different than me signing you up for a Sami Zayn autograph session.
Oh,
He's a really nice guy, by the way, when you meet him in person. I'm not even talking
Double K doesn't even care.
Really nice.
He doesn't even care.
He was so nice.
So,
Just to put that out there.
what else you got? What else you got for us on AEW?
For the record. Of course, they mentioned Jon Moxley is going to be there.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a surprise, but it's, still, I don't
Shocker.
blame them for making an announcement. And they're going to announce their first women's champion on that show.
They will.
I'm thinking Dr. Britt Baker. If not, Awesome Kong will be their first women's champion. Unless it's someone who we haven't seen yet,
I mean,
of course. But
I'm hoping they got some tricks.
it could be like a Gail Kim. That would be awesome.
That would be cool. That would be
I
cool.
love seeing Gail Kim. But, yeah, off the top of my head, Awesome Kong, Britt Baker. She's really good in the ring.
Yeah,
Britt Baker.
absolutely.
She gets a lot of crap for whatever reason, but besides that one incident, but, you're concussed. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Run to the wrong partner. It makes sense.
Ask
I
Bill
would.
Goldberg. He could tell you.
Exactly. That happens. So. Yeah. Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
What do we got? What do we got next on the list for AEW? There, A-Man.
Amen.
Are you gonna?
I feel like something's happening.
Show is here.
You're leading this segment.
Well, Nico is.
That's. Oh God!
There was never even an offer. So I don't know why. I don't know why that was even like a.
2 weeks in a row, I've had to push the microphone away from my face.
I don't know why.
All right.
Wow.
So what else you got for us?
I don't know.
This is why Nico doesn't have a mic.
That's absolutely correct. I want to talk about. Hey man, you and I are going to have a discussion about the value of Jericho.
I'm sorry, I was thinking out loud.
Does Jericho actually add value?
I think he does, but I don't think he's the right choice for your first champion. I could see him being in the match for the title.
I feel like they're booking him as the face of AEW, and I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I feel like Cody and them are smart enough not to do that. Because if they were going to do it with a WWE person, why wouldn't they do Jon Moxley? I get Jericho is more well known to your older fan, but if they're really gunning for the teenage crowd right now, Jon Moxley is the guy for that. Jericho maybe necessarily isn't. For us, probably, but I feel like if they were going in that direction, they would use Moxley.
Well, I mean, Jericho's in the twilight. He's close to riding off. He's got to be close to riding off to where he becomes that guy that just does nostalgia matches. Mm-hmm. We've got to be getting close to that. I'm with you on Jon Moxley. I feel like it should have been John or like Kenny Omega. Anybody, really, other than Chris Jericho. And I love Chris Jericho. But
I don't know. I think he's a good fit to be in the match, but I'm just not that excited about Adam Page. And I hate to say it, because he's a good, solid worker, but I just wish they maybe put more focus on him these past few months. Well, once he won the Battle Royal. Just to build him up more, because he's a good talent, you know? And he's a good, solid hand for them, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's a mistake. I don't see the value in Chris Jericho.
But I think the value in Chris Jericho is going to be behind the scenes.
So, really? Some of the folks that are listening to this are
to answer this particular listener.
No, that you don't have to answer.
I'm answering. No, he did not get a haircut. He just shined it up real nice for tonight's show. That's all.
A little spit shine. Did you use the buffer this time, or
Caitlin?
Or did you just take the towel?
No.
Get my back.
No. Anyways, the
turtle wax.
How do you think that? Do you think AEW is investing their money in the right person or the right process for them to be successful?
I don't know. No. I think for them to be successful, I think there's more to it than that. I just don't like the way they're going into it. It feels like they're just going into every single match, everything they're doing, just kind of piecemealing it together. Like they're not really following a structure. They're just kind of tossing it in there.
Well, but I think that's the name of their game. They don't want scripts. They don't want storylines. They want to...
Right, but you asked about being successful, and I'm talking about them being successful long term. I don't think that's the way to do it long term. I don't think at the level that they believe that they're at or at the level that they believe they're going to, I don't believe that that's enough to hold them in the game long term.
So, Smokey, what's your take on it? Are you excited to see Chris Jericho as the AEW World Champion?
I think they're only doing it just because of he'll be the first ever or only person ever to hold all the major titles for like WCW, WWE, and AEW. I don't think when he does have it, I don't think he'll have it very long.
But he doesn't need to be the first champion to claim that, though. You know, he will eventually. Obviously,
right. I just think by the way they're pushing him right now, I just think that's how it's going to be.
But how are they really pushing him besides the poster? He wasn't on their last pay-per-view or whatever show you want to call it. He hasn't really done any video packages. He hasn't really been mentioned that much. I mean, he's done his own training videos and that he's released, but I don't know.
He's on every poster they print.
Well, I mean, look, everyone is. He's in the center, but
the kind of
that makes sense. Him in the position where he is on the poster makes sense. Him winning the first title doesn't make sense. Him being in that match, to me at least, makes sense.
So,
I'm
winning.
good with him being in it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
I think everybody at this table agrees with that.
Right.
We're good with Jericho being in the match. We just don't want to see him win it.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a fan of Adam Page being the first guy. He's better than Jericho to take the title.
Who would be for you? Who would be your perfect first champion.
For AEW?
Yes.
Really? I would probably be...
Yeah.
It would probably have to be... Oh, man. It's probably Cody. But that would seem self-centered. MJF would not be a bad choice to be the first. But the best bet, I think, for you... And I think there's only one reason why they don't do it, but I think your best bet is Jon Moxley. And the reason why I think you avoid doing that right now is because you don't want to look like WWE. Because the moment that they start catering to guys that came from WWE is going to be the moment that their fan base is going to start to get disappointed. Because AEW was born and bred from the guys that weren't in WWE. Because Cody left the business and went to go do his own thing. So Jon Moxley's character fits that. But your Shawn Spears, the fans still chanted 10 when he came out. So it's not like they don't know who he is. It's not like they don't know where he came from. So I think it's going to be a long time before you see anybody that has recently left the WWE that will ever hold a title in AEW. Because at what point do you have to brand yourself being, well, these are WWE rejects? These are the guys that didn't make it.
Yeah, but
in WWE.
is Moxley? I don't think you can see Jon Moxley as a WWE reject or someone who didn't make it.
Right.
Because he
exactly.
chose
in
to leave.
Because he
WWE.
made it.
Like, he made it. He held multiple titles, and then
Chose to leave.
he made the decision to leave. Hell, he even got a farewell tour.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Shawn Spears, those guys, I get it. But, I think now if they were going to do it,
That's why I said John, it makes sense. Because his character feeds into that.
But I feel like now would be the time to put it on him.
Well, I'm agreeing with you. I think Jon Moxley, but I think the only reason why they aren't doing it is because he was a recent WWE guy.
I feel like if he had left WWE like a year ago, it'd be different.
It would be different.
But
he hasn't even
just
been gone
months
6
ago.
months.
Right.
So they're not going to put the belt on a guy that
Right.
just came from WWE. It would delegitimize them with their fan base.
Fair.
But I think Cody is going to be the one who never wins the title for them.
And I'm good with that. Because some of the greatest guys in the history of professional wrestling were never
Piper.
major title holders.
Right.
I mean, they
held it
weren't.
very few times.
The Undertaker, what was it, 5-time WWE
5 times.
champion?
Yeah.
5, I think it was 5.
5-time WWE
I mean,
champion.
hell, Hogan only had it 6.
Right.
Yeah. Hogan was 6, yeah.
And hell, he's a cornerstone of the business.
That's right, he is. Gets people kicked in the back of the head.
Which people don't ever talk about it, but Austin, I think he only had 6 title reigns.
Yeah, it wasn't many.
But in that
Many at all.
era, too, it was completely different.
Well, but his title reigns were usually
Rock was only
months
7,
on end.
right?
Yeah.
Austin usually had the belt forever.
Yeah. Well,
When he had it,
He kept it. The Rock was the same way. He would hold on to it for a while.
When Hogan, Flair, Flair early.
Yeah.
Those guys, when they had the titles for a year.
Bruno.
Well, he had it for, 7 years straight one time?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And nobody will ever beat that. Ever.
No, not now.
Most guys don't even have a 7-year career
Look,
Right.
at this day and age.
If WWE or any major brand were to put a title on somebody for 7 years now,
Nobody would watch it.
nobody would watch.
Nope.
no.
Everybody would completely lose their shit, and nobody's watching. Like, it wouldn't be worth it. That would be, no matter how good they were, no matter how many L's they're handing out.
Pick this up.
Take this L.
No matter how much
We love
of
you,
that
buddy.
they're doing, the fans would revolt.
Oh, yeah,
The
for sure.
fans would flat out revolt.
All right, let's move on to the last 2 businesses that we are going to talk about. And, Smokey, we're going to start with you. What can you get us caught up on with Impact Wrestling?
I mean, not a whole lot has really happened. They said that their Access TV.
She's over there sniffing her paper.
It was really strong. I had to smell it.
It's pink. It's not scratch and sniff.
It was really strong. I had to smell it. Anyways, so Access TV and Impact Wrestling, Smokey.
Smokey, compose yourself.
Folks, I'm sorry that this entire thing just goes sideways sometimes, but welcome to our group.
It happens. It happens.
Anyway,
What?
that deal is still ongoing, so they haven't
Sideways,
closed
baby.
on that one yet. And then
Shout out to
the other one is Tennille Dashwood signed with Impact.
I did see that. That's a good scoop for them.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that too.
If you get a chance, go take a look at Rhino's
in AEW.
Rhino's most
That's
recent
what I was
interview. He went into details about
Details.
why
Details.
he
Is that like a battle royale?
The test.
why he joined Impact instead of WWE, and he talks about some of the stresses, things that he wanted to do, and things that
I forgot.
so things that she didn't want, or things that he didn't want to see or to.
You can't unsee it now.
So yeah, he looking like a man. So. Anyway,
Folks, it's usually about the hour and a half mark where it just goes completely sideways.
It goes sideways.
It's unrecoverable.
But
Out the window.
if you actually do this group, you'd know how normal this is for us. But
it gets way worse.
Normal's not a word we use.
Because we are definitely not normal.
but Rhino actually talked about how he views Impact as being on a 2-year improvement streak. Like they've slowly made some changes financially and just structurally as a company to kind of revitalize their brand. And so they're starting to see some improvements, and I just wish them the best on being able to continue that. Double K, what do you have for us coming out of Ring of Honor for the past week?
Well, one of the biggest things they have going on is they're joining up with CMLL out of Mexico. What?
Gonna ask you what it stands for.
You say it. I stated before we went on air that
That he
I was
wasn't
not
gonna
going
pronounce
to
it.
try to pronounce it because I'm not going to glitch out like Tommy T over here. Yep. Good.
Got stuck again.
Got stuck again. I'm not going to do it. But they have a 3-city tour coming up in September. September 6th, September 7th, September 8th. It's Global Wars. How much Ring of Honor do you guys actually watch? Not you.
I try to watch at least an hour or so out of each week,
Yeah.
just to stay current on the topics.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Well, it's tough because of the TV spot.
Well, that
You
and
need to
for
really-
me, it's just my work schedule is grueling.
Well,
so.
I mean, typically when it comes on, it's 3 hours past your bedtime. Right?
That's
I
When we're not in the studio
I haven't said it,
and we
All night.
get you back to the home,
and I hate you.
they don't allow you. They don't allow you to
I
say it.
haven't said it all night.
They wipe your head down.
That's
Squid, 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 squid.
Yep. And they turn your TV off and they stick you into bed.
Give you your meds. And maybe some more milk.
all right. I hate you too.
Attaboy.
So, anything else coming out of the world of Ring of Honor? That anything pressing that we need to know about?
Nothing pressing. No.
Okay.
Just the
Nothing pressing. Like I said, that's going to be a pretty big deal, though. It's mainly in the Midwest, so it's not going to be anywhere near where we are.
Okay.
So it won't be one of those things where we can rush over and check it out.
Okay. Our next event that it looks like we're going to be at is going to be the AEW event. Again,
Yeah.
tickets go on sale tomorrow morning, so we will be in line to get our tickets. Hopefully, we will be able to get tickets.
bad feeling.
So we'll see.
I'll
They've
make you
sold out
calm
their
down.
first. Well, they've sold out their first 2 shows within 30 seconds of the tickets going on sale. So
When I tried for All Out, I was number 23,000 in line out of 80,000.
yeah.
And I logged in early.
So it'll be.
We need to log in now.
It'll
Pretty
be
much.
Seriously.
Pretty much,
I'm not playing.
Yeah.
We'll have to take a look, and I'm sure that there'll be tickets available on the aftermarket sites as well. They're
Like
probably just
5 times the
yeah,
price.
we're probably just gonna have to pay a little bit more for them, but we'll take a look at that. Our
Yeah.
plan, though, as a group, is for us to be there at AEW's. It's a historic event for them and for the wrestling world. So that's going to wrap up our actual talking points for the night. Now we're going to move on to what is our favorite segment of our show each week. Amen. Now she's, of course, showcase.
So disrespectful to the title.
She's showcasing the WWE Intercontinental Championship, which is the belt that we use to award our winner of our weekly Wrestle Rewind trivia. And it is at this time that I announce that the individual who has held the title the most times in Wrestle Rewind is Double K at 5 times. Tonight, A-Man is the reigning, defending 4-time Wrestle Rewind trivia. She has an opportunity tonight to challenge and take on the.
I can't finish the spinneroonie. I have no.
It is an opportunity for her to tie Double K for the most WW or the most Wrestle Rewind trivia wins. And then we have an opportunity for Smokey Z to actually win because it hasn't happened yet.
Nope.
What is that beeping sound?
That's what
I was trying to figure that out myself.
I was just gonna play.
I hear it. I thought it was your life alert, but but you were upright, so I wasn't concerned.
So I got to tell you, that's the first time that I've been on this show that I actually had to catch myself because I was about to say one of those FCC banned words.
Fist?
Did you say fisted?
I said fist.
Oh,
That's normally your go-to.
that's so we're gonna go ahead and hand out our buttons
His finisher.
for
His finisher. Hey, good one. I like it.
Thanks.
I hate you too.
I think
That's the first time
that's the first
that I've
time.
told you that.
Got it about. No.
There's your button.
Yikes.
Calm down,
Calm down there,
there.
buddy.
Get into some real fisticuffs around here.
Well, anyways,
Restory.
we're going to kick off tonight's first. Remember, it's 15 questions. The individual with the most points at the end of the 15 questions is our winner and Wrestle Rewind trivia champion. Tonight's first question, Sen, is
Wait a minute. What era are we in?
we're going to be in the modern era.
Okay.
We're going to start there, and
Actually, you were born, so
so this is going to be the
I got it.
this is going to be the ruthless aggression era.
Yes.
that's like your
I know.
jam right
I'm
there.
pumped.
Yeah.
Now, if I lose, it's gonna be horrible.
So we're going to start out. The first 5 questions are not multiple choice. They have to be answered individually. Each of you get an opportunity to answer, and then the first one to get it correctly wins. Question number 1, Santino Marello held the WWE Tag Team Championship with which WWE superstar?
Oh crap!
Gosh, I can.
I can see him, but I can't think of what his name is.
Nico, go ahead and give me a 45 seconds on the clock
45.
Ooh.
What?
until somebody hits the button. Yes.
All right. 5 seconds in, you got to give a hint.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you every 10 seconds I'll give you a hint.
Fair.
This individual is no longer a WWE superstar. However, was a main roster featured superstar during his time, not of U.S. origin.
I feel like it's so.
I know what
obvious.
his name is, but I can't think of what his name is.
Well, that makes.
I'm sorry.
That made 0 sense whatsoever.
What did you just say?
He said, "Stop the damn match."
I can see him, but I can't think of what his name is.
All
That's
right,
what I
well,
meant
go
to
ahead
say.
and pause it again there, Nico. I'm going to give the second hint. This individual was also involved in a elimination chamber match for the WWE Championship, which he did not win, but he was one of the final 3 participants.
Not. How much time's
I could
left?
see him.
And it was Santino Marella.
Santino Marella was his tag team partner. I will give one final hint at the end of the 45
I
seconds.
feel like I know,
God,
but I
yeah.
can't. I just can't
Can I
pull
get a
it.
point if I tell you what origin he is?
No.
No.
Oh.
All right, so the 45 seconds is up, and this individual's country of origin that he was billed from was Russia.
Oh man.
Oh. It's just blocked.
Amen.
Vladimir Kozlov.
That is correct. It was Vladimir Kozlov.
I could see it.
The whole time I could
couldn't-
not get his name out.
I couldn't. Yeah, just couldn't pull it
We're going to pretend like that didn't happen.
Yes.
So,
You might need a new sheet of paper at some point. I mean, come on.
she got a whole book of it. She just won't use a different page.
Save the environment, guys.
Well, you've already written on 4 because it needs 3.
Well, I'm going to use them at a later time.
Question number 2. Shawn Michaels was forced to work for which former WWE champion in 2009?
Wait, what was,
JBL.
the,
Smokey's. That is correct. It was
Nice.
what was the question? I didn't
Who
hear
did
the
Shawn
question.
Mark?
Shawn
Yeah.
Markles.
You got it wrong.
Shawn Markles.
Shawn Marcus.
He wrestled with Andre the Jordan.
Guys, it might be one of those nights.
Where Double K's brain just goes on vacation.
It might be one of those.
Question number 3. Which tag team won the WWE Tag Team Championship from Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio in the WWE debut?
Debut.
Oh.
As Del Rio
I
would
got
say, debut.
I got a great hint for you,
Oh my god.
but I'm going to hold
Wait.
off because it's going to be a hint that if I give it to
Who
you,
were the champions again?
the champions
It was Guerrero and
Guerrero
Mysterio.
and Mysterio.
Mysterio.
If I give you the hint, you're going to know exactly who it is, so that's why I'm holding off.
Debut.
One half of this tag team was severely injured at a WWE pay-per-view here in Amen.
Eminem.
It was Eminem.
I was at that. Were you guys there?
No.
Dude.
Yep, it was Eminem.
Brutal.
That's why I said I knew as soon as I gave the hint, somebody was going to get it.
You could have made a different hint.
Who was the first? Who was the first Money in the Bank match winner? Amen.
I'm out.
Edge.
It was Edge.
Yeah, it was. Like, it's registering?
All right,
It's not
so
fast.
this particular question, I'm not sure why it's not from the Ruthless Aggression era, so I'm not sure why it's on this page. However,
Fair.
it's probably going to be swayed more towards Double K and A-Man, so I'm sorry in advance, Smokey.
He got big words.
Who was Demolition's original manager? Double K.
Mr. Fuji?
That is incorrect.
Is it? I'm going to be pissed when I hear it, though.
I don't know.
I'm sure. 25 seconds remaining.
I don't know, man.
This individual's nickname that preceded his actual name started with an L and ended with Shuss.
Luscious?
Luscious is his nickname.
Wait, what?
What's the rest of his
Really?
name? Yes. 10 seconds remaining.
Luscious was his nickname?
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
It
everyone
was
knew,
Luscious.
Like, at nighttime.
Something.
Not Leo Kirby.
What'd you say?
Rick Rude.
Nope. Nico's disappointed by that answer, Smokey.
I didn't mean to hit the button anyway.
I don't know.
Time is up. The answer to the question was Luscious Johnny V.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't either.
Question number
I would
6.
have bet my soul it was me.
Who was the first WWE superstar to win the King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, and the Royal Rumble? Amen.
Is it Edge?
It was Edge.
Nice.
Question number-
This is like your era, though.
It
Question
is.
number 7.
It is.
How many World Tag Team Championships did Edge and Christian hold together? Amen.
9.
That's incorrect.
7.
That is correct.
I almost
The
said
answer is
7.
7. Smokey Z, for the first
am I
time
doing
in
over here?
Wrestle Rewind Trivia, has, I think, 2 consecutive points.
I had 3 before.
So
Right there.
Carry on.
we are going to switch eras halfway through. We're 7 questions in. We're going to go to... this one is going to be from the late Attitude Era. Who did Brian Pillman pin at In Your House Ground Zero?
What'd you say?
Are these multiple choice?
Yes.
Okay.
Who did Brian Pillman pin at In Your House Ground Zero? Was it Goldust, Bret Hart, or Savio Vega? Double K.
Bret Hart.
That is incorrect. Smokey Z.
Goldust.
Goldust is correct.
I feel like we've had that question before.
Yeah, and I feel like I said Bret Hart then,
I
too.
feel like you did.
I think we did have that.
Which college did Farouk play football for? Double K.
Florida State.
That is correct.
FSU.
Nice.
What former USFL team did Farouk once play for?
USFL.
That one I don't really know.
USFL.
There's a multiple choice.
Nope. I will give you a hint that will tell you the city.
There's
The city is where WrestleMania will be held next year.
Was it the Bucks?
Nope. It's in Tampa
Tampa.
Bay. But what's the team's name?
Oh. I don't know. I don't know the team names of the USFL teams.
I have no idea.
So there's no. Yeah, without multiple choice,
Is it the
there's no.
Hurricanes?
No.
No.
So do you guys want to scrap that question?
Tampa Bay Lightning is the hockey team now, but
Tampa Bay Bandits was
Yeah,
the
no.
name.
Yeah, I would have never gotten
Bandits.
Hurricanes
So,
would be better.
you should have got that one.
So we'll scratch that question. It was supposed to
That's
be
not the
question
Bucks.
number 9. Who lost the heavyweight title match at April 1997 in your house pay-per-view? Mankind, Shawn Michaels, or Steve Austin?
Well, what kind of match was it?
It was just a heavyweight title match. Double K.
Austin.
That is incorrect.
Mankind.
Smokey Z, it was Mankind. Smokey Z
Tie.
now ties
I
4
overthought
points.
Oh, snap.
And we are on question number 10. Who defeated Bret Hart at the April 1997 In Your House pay-per-view? Was it Shawn Michaels, The Patriot, or Steve Austin? Smokey Z.
She got it.
Oh, look at you being
Amen.
chivalrous.
Gentleman. And I forgot which one I was going with. Can you repeat the answers real quick?
The options are Shawn Michaels, The Patriot, or Steve Austin.
I'm going to go Shawn Michaels.
That is incorrect, Smokey Z.
Was it?
The Patriot.
That is also incorrect. You will not get a chance because there's only one option left.
Who was it?
It was Steve Austin.
Really?
That is
What was the name of the pay-per-view again?
In your house.
In Your House. Who did Randy Savage defeat at WrestleMania 2?
Hogan.
That is incorrect. You're almost at your 10-second end mark. This individual's nickname was The Animal. Double K.
George Steele.
It was George the Animal Steele. That puts us at, let's see, this was going to be question number 12. Which former superstar, we can't ask that one. 2/3 of Mick Foley's ear was ripped off in a 1994 match in Germany against who?
Oh. No idea.
Okay,
Terry Funk?
that is incorrect.
That's what I was thinking, but then I stopped
Oh,
myself.
I think I know who it was. Oh, that may be wrong. But it may be a better answer than Terry Funk.
This individual, early in his career, wore a headdress with red lights and horns.
Oh, maybe I was completely off then.
Red lights and horns. I think I know, but I'm going to hold out for hint number 2. I think I know.
The first 2 words of this individual's entrance theme were "It's Time." Double K.
Big Van Vader, baby.
It was Big Van Vader.
Gosh,
I thought I knew it, but I was just waiting
I'm
for that.
so mad at myself. The second I said Funk.
Question number 4.
Wait, when was
The
that?
question was, what color did Roddy Piper paint half of his body at WrestleMania 6? The answer is black.
Oh.
It was very controversial.
Double K has now tied this at a 3-way tie, 4 points apiece. This is the first time this has happened
Woo.
in the history of our
Good thing I
show.
got the titles.
This is question number 15.
Oh. And we didn't even plan this. This
No,
is
right?
crazy.
This is question number 15.
Well, I unscrambled my brain there for a little bit, so
Can you
we're
get
good.
back to the modern questions?
Who did Bad News Brown lock up with at WrestleMania 6? Was it Bret Hart, Roddy Piper, or Ron Bass?
WrestleMania 6.
At WrestleMania 6. Double K.
Roddy Piper.
It was Roddy Piper.
Oh!
No! Give me my
That is Christian number 15.
man.
Double K
What a come from behind win, baby.
wins tonight's Wrestle Rewind trivia with 5 points. Double K now the 6-time Wrestle Rewind champion.
Six time, baby.
A-Man is no longer A-Man 2 belts. She's back down to A-Man 1 belt.
Just like Becky.
She's where she belongs now.
Double K, this is your first time carrying that title.
That's right.
So
But 6-time winning.
that's true. 6-time Wrestle Rewind champion.
Close.
That was actually the most exciting round of trivia that we've done so far because it was all tied towards the end.
Yeah, good job, Smokey Z. Really showed
So-
up tonight.
Get all those like straight in a row.
It's pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty. If it wasn't, it was pretty damn close. So, well, folks, that's going to wrap up.
Good job.
That's going to wrap up yet another episode of Wrestle Rewind. Tonight, we started our night off with a bit of paying some respect to WWE Hall of Famer and recent. I say recent. Today passed away Harley Race. So I'm sure the wrestling world will continue to celebrate his life and career over the next several days. However, here for Wrestle Rewind, that wraps our show up. We appreciate, as always, everyone taking the time to both listen and watch, whether it's online, whether it's Facebook Live, YouTube, or across whatever podcast platform that you use. We do appreciate it. And we put a lot of time and effort into these shows to be able to provide this to you guys. So thank you for taking the time out every Thursday night to listen to us. As always, it's Tommy T.
Double K.
Amen.
Smokey Z.
Folks, we will see you next week live at 8:30 p.m. for Wrestle Rewind.
Dun, dun, dun.
Things this group comes up with.
I may have dropped an F-bomb tonight.
Me too.
There were two.
You got one too?
Yeah.
All right, what